It's Wednesday, August 20th, 2025, and today on Game Rant we have a super serving of news from Cologne, Germany and Gamescom, including a brand new kind of LEGO Batman game, Sony's Ghost of Yotei is getting a free multiplayer mode post-release in 2026, and Xbox's new ROG Ally handheld has been dated, detailed, and has its own compatibility mode. So let's get right into this enormous quick news blast. Team Cherry, the team behind the hotly anticipated Hollow Knight Silksong, have revealed a special announcement will take place tomorrow, August 21st in the evening. In the meantime, as revealed by Jeff Keighley, we now know Silksong will be arriving before the end of 2025. With fans playing the demo at Gamescom as we speak, we'll certainly be covering their announcement on our Friday news video, so stay tuned. Closing out the opening night of Gamescom, hosted by Jeff Keighley, came the announcement of the next Black Myth game, switching protagonist to Zhong Kui, the fierce tiger-riding hunter who travels between life and death. Although Mr. Keighley also announced this would not be the end of the Black Myth series, hinting at new entries yet to be revealed. We got our first look at Call of Duty Black Ops 7's gameplay, and as teased, this game is a merger of Black Ops 6 and Black Ops 2, the latter of which takes place in a future where the human mind can be explored through advanced technology, and in this case means the campaign can be played solo or with up to 4 players. Monster Hunters will ride chocobos as a crossover for Monster Hunter Wilds and Final Fantasy XIV, with new monsters and additional content will be arriving next month in September. And one of the most unlikely announcements of the entire event, Bubsy 4D, the apparent follow-up to Bubsy 3D, which is often considered one of the worst games ever made. Even Bubsy himself seems to admit this during the trailer before being surprised his own publisher Atari still exists. We got our first look at the Order of the Giants, the DLC follow-up to Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which was also revealed to be coming to the Nintendo Switch 2. The DLC for the Great Circle will drop on September 4th on the PlayStation and Xbox platforms, but Switch 2 owners will have to wait until 2026 when the game launches. World of Tanks is launching its 2.0 version, proclaiming it to be the biggest update in the game's history with a development time of over 2 years in the making. Starting on September 3rd, World of Tanks will see new tanks but also a complete overhaul of the game's online matchmaking systems. We have our first look at the official follow-up from the development studio of Disco Elysium. Zero Parades is said to focus on the world of espionage but continue the isometric adventure game style of their previous work. Good news from software fans, Crunchyroll debuted footage of the upcoming Sekiro Shadows Die Twice anime subtitled No Defeat, which will debut sometime in 2026. One More Level, the developers behind the Ghost Runner series, has revealed their follow-up Valor Mortis. As seen in the trailer, players will enter a nightmarish world of monsters mashed up with Napoleon-era garb and weaponry. Trucking simulator fans will want to take note of Saber Interactive's newest franchise, Road Kings. According to the press release, this will be their latest next-gen truck driving experience with severe weather conditions, this time focusing on highway transportation. This next one is a double dose of DLC, as Pac-Man content will be coming to Sonic Racing Cross World sometime in 2026, and Pac-Man World 2 Repack will be adding Sonic-related content sometime in late 2025. And we got our latest look at Silent Hill F, including a reveal of the English voice acting. So far, the game is showing a strange merger of 1960s Japanese iconography as well as the familiar yet off-putting artistic flourishes of the Silent Hill series. Now on to our first major story, which happens to be about LEGO Batman. Now, you don't need to be a fan of games to know either property, but prior to this incarnation of the character hitting the big screen in 2017, players had already enjoyed a trilogy of adventure games which swung right into the middle of the action. But yesterday, TT Games unveiled LEGO Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight, and unlike those previous games, this one appears to be merging all of the popular tropes and scenes connected with the overall franchise, and delivering an origin story with the series' signature humor. Not only that, we got a brief look at Gotham City, which will serve as a free exploration open world, as well as the stealth mechanics and a new combat system complete with 3D comic book letters. And really, several moments lifted directly from different film franchises, at one point referencing the Batman's chase with the Penguin before switching over to the Christopher Nolan version of Bane. And then there's scenes of Batman quoting the 1989 film while Joker quotes The Dark Knight. Even the mechanics such as spray painting the Batgel in the familiar shape or cruising down the street in the Batmobile appears to be a reference to the Rocksteady Arkham trilogy. But as emphasized by the game's description, its goal is to tell the entire Batman story through multiple years without taking itself too seriously. It's been a minute since we've had a new LEGO Batman game, but is this what you're looking for in the next Dark Knight adventure? Chat back in the comments below. Following its announcement earlier this summer, Capcom debuted Resident Evil's newest trailer, which so far gave us our most detailed look into Alyssa Ashcroft in this entry. This is significant for hardcore fans, as Alyssa Mesa's existence has persisted throughout several games and spin-offs, more often treated as a cute reference to the franchise's bygone era in the mid-2000s, but Requiem, at least so far in the trailers, appears to center largely on the Ashcroft family, namely the daughter Grace, who has since grown up to become an FBI agent, and as seen in the game's reveal, will be sent back to her home in Raccoon City, which at last check was a smoldering radioactive mess. But back to this Gamescom trailer, which showed a much younger Grace Ashcroft being guided throughout a mansion while apparently being hunted by a group targeting her mother. While it's already been revealed Requiem can be played from multiple perspectives, this sequence in the dark with flashlights is being firmly placed in the first-person gameplay. Frankly, there's not much narratively told, but a lot more hinted at as Alyssa promises to reveal all before we hard cut to a scream and hear something squishy. Ew. We'll find out more when the game launches February 27th. Okay, Resident Evil fans, sound off in the comments below. Are we going to see even more references to Resident Evil Outbreak? Everyone's got a favorite. Who's your pick? Moving over to Sony news, we got our newest look at Ghost of Yotei, which is arriving this fall on October 2nd. But in a surprise announcement, it was revealed the previous game's Legends mode would see a return in the new Ghost of Yotei Legends. Launching as free DLC sometime in 2026, for those not familiar, Legends serves as the franchise's multiplayer story mode, and this is deliberately set aside from the main narratives for their own unique cast of characters and mechanics which encourage cooperation. But the great bulk of the trailer showcased more of the game's tone, with the protagonist being haunted by her gruesome battles, while surrounded by the more humorous local townsfolk who are all too familiar with the tragedies of violence. The connections to its predecessor, Ghost of Tsushima, have yet to be fully revealed, as those characters and events are long gone by the time Yotei picks up 3 centuries later. But we can again see the familiar aspects of gorgeously rendered nature surrounded by man-made chaos. Did you spend much time with the previous Legends mode? Would you recommend it to new players? Chat back in the comments below. And finally for today, we got the latest details all about Xbox's new handheld partnership with ROG Ally. First things first, we had the release date, which is October 16th, just under 2 months and right before the holiday rush in North America. Notably absent was any sort of reference to price, but with limited time before launch, we expect those details to arrive shortly. But of course, its main competitors and arguably the most influential handheld PC on the market has been Valve's Steam Deck, popular with fans in part for its verified list of games promised to operate at the system's reduced capacity. Well, today Xbox unveiled its own variation, handheld compatibility, touting some of the more graphically intense games available on the platform, including Final Fantasy VII Remake, Gears of War Reloaded, and South of Midnight, promising optimization tested by Xbox firsthand. In fact, during the opening night live version of the Moonlighter 2 trailer, we can see a ROG Xbox Ally X, the most powerful version of the handheld, in the introduction of the trailer. How much do you think the ROG Xbox Ally handheld should cost? And don't say free. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, but we'll be back tomorrow. In the meantime, why not check out Noah Waterman's latest all about the mysterious Ryu Hayabusa and his potential future, or lack thereof, in the Ninja Gaiden series. Keep clicking around here at Game Rant, and we'll see you next time. Thanks, everybody.